This Saw character didn't deserve to be in a Jigsaw trap. He may not be a top citizen, but at least he's not a serial killer. In Saw, Adam's presence in the bathroom trap was solely due to his association with Dr. Gordon, making his test unfair and unnecessary. Unlike other trap victims, Adam was not directly at fault for a great tragedy, making him an undeserving target of Jigsaw's traps. The inescapable nature of later traps in the franchise contrasts with the placement of a key in Adam's trap, suggesting that Kramer wanted him to survive and questioning why he was tested in the first place. The Saw franchise is probably most well known for its gory trap sequences and the gruesome fate suffered by those who don't manage to escape. John Kramer's, Tobin Bell, belief in restorative justice means he chooses morally deviant individuals who will have a deeper appreciation of life after being tested, believing that having their life in their hands will cause them to reconsider their wrongs. The major trap plot of the original 2004 Saw is the bathroom trap, arguably the most iconic location of the franchise. The two players are Adam Stanheight, Leigh Whannell, who also wrote the film, and Dr. Laurence Gordon, Cary Elwes, but when comparing the reasons the two men are there, Adam feels out of place. Adam is only in the bathroom because of his association with the doctor. It is likely that if Adam hadn't been asked to photograph the doctor, he would never have been tested at all. Compared to other trap victims within the franchise, Adam had no impact on the severity of Dr. Gordon's situation. He was simply a bystander. If Adam came out of the bathroom trap alive, it is unlikely he would drastically alter his life. He doesn't live a lavish lifestyle, he takes photos as a way to get by, and he is extremely disillusioned by his life. None of this compares to Dr. Gordon's adultery or many of the other victims in the franchise. Kramer seems to pick apart Adam's personality, as opposed to his ethical wrongdoings, and looking at his actions proves Adam should never have been tested in the first place. Why was Adam tested in Saw? Adam Stanheight is placed in the bathroom trap for spying and taking unsolicited photos of others, specifically following Dr. Laurence Gordon, who is also in the trap with him. In his tape, Jigsaw criticizes Adam for sitting in the shadows watching other people live their lives, implying he lacks proactivity and watches as others cross ethical boundaries. He watched Dr. Gordon enter a motel room to cheat on his wife, but did nothing about it. His career encourages him to be a bystander to misconduct without taking action. Through his trap, Jigsaw seeks to encourage Adam to use his initiative to change the situation in front of him, but unlike the situations he usually takes photos of, this one involves him directly and his life is at risk. In his tape, Jigsaw describes Adam as a strange mix of angry, yet apathetic, but mostly just pathetic. This highlights that, as opposed to focusing on Adam's actions, Kramer overemphasizes Adam's personality and his downtrodden lifestyle. Yes, Adam's profession is not of the highest ethical standard, but it is clear in the movie he does it simply to survive and is aware of the issues surrounding it. He is a victim of the system rather than an abuser of it, and he is making ends meet where he can. Throughout the movie, he is sarcastic and often jokes about the situation, which represents his disillusionment with life, but he develops a compassionate relationship with Dr. Gordon. Initially, Adam is rightfully suspicious of the doctor, yet the two have plenty of time to digest what is happening, and Adam shows genuine empathy for him and concern for his family. He disproves all of Kramer's prior character assassination and proves his supposed apathy was only a result of his situation. His time within the trap acts as reasoning for his test being completely unfair. How does Adam compare to other trap victims? Association is a big theme within Saw traps, and those who find themselves in tests with other people often have some connection, even if they don't know it themselves. If there is one thing John Kramer can be relied on, it's reasoning. Everything he does has a reason behind it, and no one is in a situation by accident. Everything is always connected. Look at the major trap plot of Saw V. At first glance, the Fatal Five are total strangers. Their lack of relationships causes them to be individualistic, making certain of their own survival over helping others. At the end of the series of traps, only 2 of them remain, but it is revealed that if they had worked together, they could have all survived. It is also revealed that all of them had a part to play in a building fire that caused the death of several people. It is highlighted that by inadvertently working together, the 5 of them caused devastating consequences, but when given the option to work as a collective again, they all chose the selfish route. However, what is key in this situation when comparing it to Adam's is their shared association and how they all played a part in the fire. It could be argued that Malik Scott, Greg Brick, who was responsible for physically starting the fire, played a bigger role than Charles Salomon, Carlo Rota, who was a journalist who simply accepted a bribe and didn't run the story uncovering the truth about the tragedy. What is important isn't the level of ethical misconduct, it is that every member of the group made a conscious decision that worsened the situation. This theme can be seen within most of the major trap plots of the franchise. In Saw 3, Jeff comes face to face with those involved in the car crash that killed his son, including the witness who didn't testify, the judge who gave a light sentence, and the drunk driver himself. Saw 3D's trap plot features those who facilitated Bobby Dagen's lies. Saw V sees employees of Umbrella Health who feed into their policy that only accepts a third of applications. The main trap plots hinge on the connections between those involved. Comparing this to the bathroom trap, the active deviance that Kramer is targeting is difficult to pinpoint, but with the kidnapping of Dr. Gordon's wife and daughter, the most probable conclusion is Gordon's adultery. Adam makes clear whilst in the bathroom that he didn't know anything about Dr. Gordon when taking his photos. He didn't even know his name. He had no active role in Dr. Gordon's adultery. He was merely a bystander and was only placed in the bathroom because of his association with the doctor as opposed to his association with the misconduct. Adam was not the only test victim who didn't deserve his fate. Specifically, looking later in the franchise, Kramer bought in apprentices, only for these apprentices to create inescapable traps. Detective Cary, Dina Meyer, was placed in a trap under the facade that she was over-fascinated with death, but the inescapability of her trap shows that she was supposed to die. These traps don't allow the victims to test their will to survive. They cement their death. It becomes difficult to compare these later victims in the franchise to those from the original, as there were more elements at play for the later traps in the series. However, inescapable traps are worth mentioning as Adam's trap accidentally became almost inescapable. When he awoke in the bathtub, he scrambled so much that he pulled the plug out and the key to his shackles went down the drain. The placement of a key acts as a complete counter to the inescapable nature of later traps. It indicates that Kramer wanted Adam to survive, and if this is the case, then why did he even put Adam in the trap at all? Looking at his situation and John Kramer's usual grounds for testing, Adam should never have been tested at all. Saw is available to stream on Amazon Prime in the US.